Hey guys, it's Bex. Welcome to another video. Today we're doing our monthly TBR choosing video. I said this before, I'll say it again. I love filming these. It's so fun, one, to kind of see what prompts I'm gonna get, what books I can choose from those prompts, and just what books I'm going to be mostly reaching for the upcoming month. Sometimes when you see all these books that you own that you haven't read yet, you get overwhelmed. So it's nice to have like a smaller selection to try to choose from. Obviously, it doesn't always work out that way, especially because I do reading vlogs and stuff. Hi, Sammy. But yeah, I love these videos. They're so fun to watch and film. So without further ado, we're going to be choosing 6 like usual. Sammy, are you gonna join us today? Are you gonna help me pick? Just as a refresher as well, the 2 books that I did not get to this month on my March TBR were these 2, The Will of the Many and Rebel Witch. So if we can choose those, probably we'll try to. So first prompt, what color? Purpley pink. The colors don't mean anything, so I don't know why I said that. Okay. Ooh, book I think I will rate 5 stars. Ooh. As I said, maybe try to reach for these 2, and honestly, I have a inkling that I might rate The Will of the Many 5 stars by James Islington, so that's an option up front. I feel like I might really love The Cruel Prince, and literally the only reason I haven't picked it up yet, and I've owned it for honestly a while, is because it's a series, but I'm honestly not in the middle of like that many series, and they're short versus like The Will of the Many is the start of a series and it's pretty dang big. So, you know, I don't know why I'm so not hesitant to pick up The Cruel Prince, but what else on this cart? I think I might really like Scythe. I think I'm gonna love The Nightingale, and maybe Six of Crows would be the other one that I would be really confident in rating highly. I think because it was on my last month's TBR, we are going to go with The Will of the Many by James Islington. It is very chunky, so it's a big undertaking. It's over 600 pages, and if you can see, the margins are almost non-existent. Like, these words go all the way freaking down and all the way to the sides of the page. And why is the font like negative font? Like, it is so small. I swear there's like double the amount of words on these pages than some other books. So it's definitely a big undertaking. It's a fantasy. It has magic, political intrigue, magical battles, not only magic but magical battles, suspense. It has to do with like this academy that our main character is going to, and he has like a bunch of secrets. I love books that have to do with like academies and prestigious schools, which this one does. So that's like the gist of like the vibe of the book, I guess you could say. Not really what it's about, but it's the summary is really long, so I won't bore you guys with that. Prompt number 2. Ooh, I'm gonna have to do some research for this one. Book with the least amount of reviews on Goodreads. So basically like the least popular of my books that I own, which I feel like I have a pretty good guess as to which one that's going to be. I'm probably not even going to look. I would if it was easier, but for me to look, I have to stop this video, go on my phone, or just go onto my computer real quick in the other room and look, because I film on my phone. But I am so confident that I know which one it is. And it's not even on the front, it's on the back, because it is a like summary book and it's getting close to spring. I think spring starts actually technically in a couple of days, but it's still really cold where I live. However, this coming week is supposed to be in the late 60s, the high 60s. So we'll see. Maybe I actually will be in the mood to read like a summary book to get myself started on that. But it is Lady Sunshine by Amy Mason Doan. I tend to buy books that I have heard a lot of people talk about on BookTube, because you know I'm a part of the community and stuff like that. So a lot of the books I buy have just a lot of hype kind of. So this is the only one that I literally have not seen any other person talk about this book, and if I remember correct, I believe it did not have very many reviews on Goodreads. So this is what we're gonna go with. I found this book when I was googling books that remind me of Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau. If you've heard of that book, I loved that book, gave it 5 stars, and people on Reddit said this one, and it honestly kind of did sound not familiar in the plot, but just like kind of the vibe. So I ended up buying it, and I just didn't get around to reading it last summer, which is when I bought it. It's historical, which so is Mary Jane. It takes place in 1979 as the then timeline, and then there's also a now timeline, which I think is like 20 years later. It takes place on the California coast as musicians, artists, and free spirits gather gather at the sandcastle for the season in pursuit of inspiration and communal living, Jackie and her cousin Willa fell into a fast friendship, testing their limits along the rocky beach and in the wild woods, until the summer abruptly ended in tragedy and Willa silently slipped away into the night. 20 years later, she returns to the estate for a short visit to ready it for sale, but she extends her stay when she learns that before her death, her estranged aunt had promised an up-and-coming producer he could record a tribute album to her late uncle at the property's studio. As her musical guests bring the place to life again with their sun-drenched beach days and late-night bonfires, Jackie begins to notice startling parallels to that summer long ago. So yeah, we'll see if I like it, but I hope I do, because it is always fun to like find a book that you really like that just doesn't have a lot of hype. Yeah, we'll see what happens with this one. That is our second book going on the April TBR. Third prompt. Book by an author whose first or last name starts with the first letter of my first name. The first letter of my first name is R, so we need to pick an author whose either first or last name starts with R. No. Fireborn. Let's just get our options out. Rosaria Munda is her name.
Kristen Ciccarelli, Lee Bardugo, Suzanne Collins, C.S. Lewis, Marissa Meyer, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Dana Schwartz.
Wow, do I not have any more? Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I really want to read this in the fall, so I don't want to choose that one, and we have another option, so therefore I probably will pick the other option. Ooh, I could also add a book that I am going to be getting in the mail in April. However, I don't think it's till like the middle to end of April, and it's a new release, and that is Fearless by Lauren Roberts, which is the third book in the Powerless trilogy. I am really excited about this book too. This is like about dragons. It's a fantasy. Also, this is the start of a series though, and Fearless would be finishing a series, which I would feel good about because I am starting, if I read The Will of the Many, I'm starting a series with that one, and then also I have just started a couple series lately. I do want to read this soon, but I think I'm going to go with Fearless by Lauren Roberts, and I just really want to try to read books that pick books that I'm actually going to read, and I think I have more likelihood of reading that than Fireborn. And if you don't know, Fearless is a YA romantasy. Fourth prompt. A book in a series. So that means we can either do the start of a series, continuation of a series, which means we could once again choose Fireborn, we could choose Scythe, we could choose
When the Moon Hatched, Legend, Winter's Promise, Cruel Prince, A Dawn of Onyx, Court of Thorns and Roses, Rebel Witch,
which would also be finishing a series, and it was on my last month's TBR.
Six of Crows, Sunrise on the Reaping, The Horse and His Boy. I want to read this one in the fall, but that one is The Grandest Game is the start of a series, Anatomy is the start of a duology, Kingdom of the Wicked is a series, Lilac.
So most of my books are a series, yep. So we have literally free reign, pretty much. I just got Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins in the mail a couple days ago. That is the newest Hunger Games novel. So that one I'm really intrigued by. I'm also really intrigued by Rebel Witch. Again, it would be finishing a series, which is always good. Once again, I'm also really excited to read The Cruel Prince, and I think I'm going to really love it. And I have the whole series. The other ones are in the back here. I think I'm gonna go with The Cruel Prince. Like I said, I just have had this book for a really long time based on kind of other people's reviews of it and their just book taste in general. They loved it, and I like a lot of the same books as them. I think I'm going to love it as well. This is like a YA fantasy with like kind of a subplot of romance series, I'm pretty sure. The summary is short, so I'm gonna read it for you guys. Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous high court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there, but many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Carden, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, Jude must defy him and face the consequences. I'm really excited. I'm gonna put this on my April TBR. 2 more prompts. 5th prompt. Oh, I mean, I'm happy, but I also just bought a couple of books. It's by a book. Yeah, I literally just got Sunrise on the Reaping. However, it was pre-ordered, so I technically bought it like months ago. And then the other 2 new books on here, if you haven't seen my video where I bought them, I will put it on the screen right now, but that is Anatomy and Scythe. And I'm trying to be a little bit better about buying books this year. I don't have like an exorbitant, whatever that word is. amount of books on my physical TBR, but still, you know, we got probably more than I would want. I mean, I'm happy, but at the same time, is my bank account happy? Not really, probably. So we're gonna save that one. I'm going to pick my last prompt, and then we are going to decide what book I want, because I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm gonna have to like look on my Goodreads, see what I've kind of been wanting to read. We'll come back to that one. And sixth and last prompt. Book with a 5-word title. Okay, let's see if I have any. The Will of the Many is, gosh dang it. Okay, 5 words.
A Court of Thorns and Roses. No. 4 words. 3. This is how you lose time word. No. No, 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 no. On the reaping. Dang it. The Horse and His Boy.
Okay, this is our first option. This is actually, I'm not super mad at this either. This is going to be the only one I have for this prompt. And this is just a short little middle grade book. If you've heard the Chronicles of Narnia series, this is the third book in that series. I've never read this series, even like as a kid I didn't. Oh, I didn't realize there's a couple pictures. I might actually have to read this physically, which you're probably thinking, why wouldn't you, because you own it. But I've been listening to this series kind of just here and there when I like need a short audiobook to listen to. They're all on Spotify, at least the first 2 were, when I'm like in between other audiobooks, or if I'm waiting for a hold at my library for an audiobook or something like that. And yeah, there's little pictures, which I didn't realize, because even though I own them all, I've been listening to them. So that's super cute. These are just 200-page, short, easy, sweet, middle grade books, so super easy to read. And this is one that was not made into a movie, so I don't know the story of this one at all, which I'm excited about going into kind of blind. So I'm not mad about that at all. That is going to be the, I guess, 5th book on our TBR, and then give me a second and I'm going to kind of decide which one I want to buy and order it, and that will be our last book. Okay, I like screen recorded my Goodreads want to read list. I was kind of just scrolling and clicking on a couple that I was interested in. There's a new one coming out very, very soon, Enchantra, which is the 2nd book in the Phantasma duology. So that would be one that I would be interested in getting. But I don't own the first one because it's on Kindle Unlimited, which is how I read it. So I think I might wait to read that until maybe it comes on Kindle Unlimited. So I decided that I would get Heartless by Marissa Meyer. At least from what I've read of her so far, she is one of my favorite authors. Kind of early to say that, but I've read the whole Renegades trilogy, and that's a 5-star series for me. And then I have this little duology called the Gilded duology by her, and I read the first one and I also really enjoyed it. And I feel like Heartless sounds really interesting. Honestly, I'm trying to remember what it's about. I can't remember, but I know that it sounds really interesting and I really like her writing and I want to read more by her, and it's a standalone, which is a plus. So I need to buy that right after this video. I will do that, and it should definitely come before even April starts, I think, because I'm filming this a little bit early. So as a recap, we have The Horse and His Boy by C.S. Lewis, which is a middle grade fantasy. We have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, which is a young adult fantasy. We have Lady Sunshine by Amy Mason Doan, which is, I think it's just like a historical fiction. The Will of the Many by James Islington, which is a fantasy. Heartless by Marissa Meyer, which is, I think, a romantasy. And then we have Fearless by Lauren Roberts, which is also a romantasy. Those are the 6 books on my April TBR. I'm honestly really excited about like all of them. I'm so excited to read Heartless. I mean, yes, but Fearless by Lauren Roberts. I've been waiting, obviously, for it to come out. We will probably be starting 2 new series. I have really high hopes for those. We have like a summary book if I'm in the mood for that, and a quick little middle grade book. So kind of a little bit of everything. Now I need to go on a book buying ban, maybe? I don't know. Honestly, I might. Maybe we'll go on a book buying ban, and by the way, that never includes books I have to buy for videos. Just saying, until like the summer? I don't know. We'll see. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were on them. Get me hyped up to read them, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!